Hi, everyone. Happy GMID. My name is Annette Gregg. I am the CEO of SITE and the SITE Foundation. That is the Society for Incentive Travel Excellence. So we've been around 52 years. We're focused specifically on incentive travel around the world. And here's our quick snapshot of SITE and our membership. Well, today I want to share a few thoughts with you about what are the macro trends affecting the incentive travel industry. So how to thrive in 2025. Most of this information is taken from our incentive travel index, which is accessed to all of you at no charge. Here's the URL. We do it in partnership with the Incentive Research Foundation. It's also sponsored by our very own SITE Foundation. So you can find the full research paper and findings there. So macro scenario, the first trend is that businesses are thriving despite the chaos. I have to tell any of you that a lot has gone on these last few months. We have over 50% of the world last year went to the polls to elect new officials, not just here in the United States. So a lot of that creates a lot of change that we've all had to adapt to. But despite all of that, businesses are doing well, and especially in the incentive travel and business events world, we're all thriving. We're all busy. We've got new high water marks for things like hotel occupancies and cruise ships and certain destinations. So businesses have found a way to thrive despite all the change going on. Another macro trend is just that hybrid virtual combination work environment that we have now. That is still a moving target, and companies are trying to figure out what is the optimal makeup of our workforce. But this is an opportunity for us in the business events world and in incentive travel because they're finding ways to reward and unite their employees and build culture. And that goes for all their employees. Now we have 5 generations in the workplace, which makes things very interesting. It spurs on innovation. It creates new ways of communicating, new values coming into the workforce. So this is also a macro shift as we see Gen Z and the younger workforce overtaking the baby boomers. Climate justice, now it's not just a nice to have, it's a must have, especially when you're living outside North America. You have a lot of corporate mandates. These are not an add-on now to our programs. A lot of companies are requiring reporting and creating travel mandates around climate. So again, this will continue to take over a lot of priorities for companies, which will affect all of us as we do meetings and events for these corporations. Geopolitics and the power shift continues to change this year, and we have access now issues. How do we get goods and services across borders in a fast and expeditious way? What are the tariffs doing to affect our cost of goods and services? What are immigration laws doing to affect our labor forces? All of these things are keeping us consistently watching the news and shifting our approaches, and it will continue to affect our industries. Generative AI is here, whether we count it as a priority or not. It'll continue to be both a threat and an opportunity for our industry as we see some of the more rudimentary tasks overtaken or supplemented by AI. So although our industry tends to be a little bit slow to adopt, this again is here whether we like it or not. So it'll be interesting to see how we adopt and adapt. So how do these macro trends affect incentive travel? Well, our respondents to our incentive travel index say there are a few things that are keeping them up at night this year. And one of them is those rising costs. Inflation has stabilized, but it's still pretty high compared to pre-COVID levels. So food and beverage, an average of anywhere from 19 to 22% higher than just 5 years ago. We've got rising costs in airfare. You've got pressure on hotel rates as that upper upscale and luxury product continues to be in demand. We've got a opportunity and also a challenge with attracting and retaining talent. It's probably the number one thing affecting all of our businesses is the fluctuation in people moving from job to job. A recent Gallup poll said that 51% of the people responding in the US are going to change jobs this year. That's half of our workforce, and that continues to be disruptive as we try to find and retain the talent. And finally, all that uncertainty is creating this short-term planning, kind of the hurry up and wait, which seems to be the new normal than we wish it was. Specific to incentives, we're seeing our respondents saying for the next 2 years, they're ready to try places they haven't tried before. So they're taking their incentive travel programs to new destinations, which is very, very exciting. Although they're still watching their bottom line. So it might not be long haul travel. If that's going to cost them too much, they might try something new a little bit closer to home. We are also seeing incentive travel programs have a dual purpose to really create that culture. As companies continue to struggle with that workforce environment, we're seeing face to face travel used for reward and recognition for non sales people as well. Maybe the employee of the year, employee of the month, they are winning these trips as well. So, again, an opportunity for us. We're seeing most of our respondents said their budgets are increasing for incentive travel programs. So it's good news because they're continuing to invest in these programs. They're seeing it as a key to reward and recognition, and they're increasing the number of qualifiers or people that they're taking on the programs. But we also know that a lot of the reason their spending is rising is because costs are rising. One of the ways there is still ambiguity around sustainability. We're seeing that some of our people in our industry are adopting best practices around it, but others are just waiting until they have to. Um, but in the end, our data is global, and so one size does not fit all. So be sure you drill down by region or by sector, whatever is most useful to you. As you can see, as you drill into the research, it's pretty robust. So make sure you look at the nuances between the regions and the sectors. Finally, we hope that you join us on the road for one of our global face-to-face opportunities. You can find more at siteglobal.com, and you can reach out to me anytime, agregg at siteglobal.com. Thanks for listening and have a great GMID.